All right, welcome back to another episode of Just Buy Less Coffee, answering the deeper questions of American politics. My name is Troy, aka Keep Troy Blue. With me, as always, is Cathy Cannon, aka Cannon's Fodder. Cannon and I, you can't see it on the audio, but the video viewers on YouTube could see that we are decked out in our adorable soccer kits here, football kits. I am wearing the Barcelona FC, or rather FC Barcelona kit. And Cathy Cannon is in her religious attire, which is the Liverpool FC kit. And we are wearing these in honor. It's not just, it's not, we don't do anything by accident. We are wearing these in honor of the No Kings protests that happened a couple weeks ago. These are the two soccer football clubs in our respective nations, England and Spain, that are the most anti-king, anti-monarchy. So yeah, it's pretty cute. It's pretty cute what we're doing. It's in solidarity with the No Kings protests worldwide that occurred. So how are you feeling, Cathy? We haven't been on here in a bit. It's been a crazy few weeks. How are you holding up?
And not just because you had in-laws in town, right?
Oh, it was my mom. It wasn't even in-laws. It was like,
I thought it was Gray's
outlaws. Parents. Yeah, no,
that's funny. It's been fine. As I was saying on the pre-show, I've been working on my Project Janet book and my fantasy book. I'm doing yoga
Cathy
again.
Cannon is a full-on sci-fi fantasy author at this point. That's
Don't
amazing.
Tell people things about me. It's like I'm more creative and skilled than people realize. Like I come across as a one-trick pony with political history shit and a cunty sassy mouth, but I am layered. I am an onion. I have layers. I have multitudes.
Who would ever say that you're a one-trick pony? How did that ever come up?
I don't know. I might have just made that up right now, but also I am adorable.
Yes, we're both adorable with our Barcelona and Liverpool jerseys.
Champions of Europe, right here. Champions of Europe, right here.
Yes, congratulations to Liverpool for not champions of Europe, Premier League champions.
Premier League champions.
Paris,
well, we're also
Paris
kings
is
of
the
Europe.
champions of Europe.
You know what? I don't want to talk about it. There was a kid in my class who liked Paris this year, and I made fun of him for it because, it's Paris and I'm allowed. But then, PSG literally knocked Liverpool out of, it's fine. It's fine. It's sort of like how last year I was picking on that kid about Manchester United, and as soon as I did, Liverpool completely, took a shit in their entire season. I got to stop talking shit.
Well, Manchester United finished what, 17th? So I think
I think they got relegated, or I haven't checked, but yeah, it's bad news to be United right now.
Anyway, I've lived in Europe for about 10 months, and I am officially in the soccer cult, the football cult. So
isn't it much more fun than American football? Isn't it way more exciting to watch? Everyone's like, "Oh, soccer's so boring." No, it's not. You just don't understand it. It's amazing.
I am a universal sports fan. I have respect for all sports. I don't. I'm actually a sports nerd, and in that I find every sport fascinating in its own way, and I try to find. There's very few sports where I'm like, that's fucking boring to watch. I try to find value. I want to know every sport. Quidditch is the worst. Yeah, I have a problem.
Wait, is that a real game? I thought that was a Harry Potter game.
It is a Harry Potter thing, but just I hate Quidditch.
Wait, so is it real though? People actually play it?
Yes, people actually play Quidditch. No, people actually have formed Quidditch leagues where they run around with brooms between their legs, trying to pull off some sort of half-assed Quidditch. But Quidditch is a sport that was created by J.K. Rowling, who, aside from being a TERF and a total transphobe, has clearly never watched a sport in her life, and thus, but then tried to create a sport. Quidditch is what happens when someone who has never watched sports in their life creates a sport, because Quidditch makes zero sense.
From my understanding of Quidditch, it's there's this whole fucking game going on, but if one guy does something, then the game doesn't matter.
I'm not even gonna get into it. Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't seem
But
like,
yes,
yeah.
I won't say that one version of football. I'm also a rugby fan. I can't say that one version of football is more exciting than the other. But I have never enjoyed soccer so much as when I've moved to Europe and watched some good old Spanish football with good old Spanish people. It's just absolutely amazing.
You know
So
what you
here
need
I
to
am
do
wearing
is we'll have to get you to
wearing
Liverpool, and I'm gonna have to take you
yes,
to a pub in Liverpool to
oh,
watch
of course.
LF, like to watch the derby between Liverpool and Everton. You want to watch football? That is how you watch football.
Dude, I'm waiting. I'm here. I'm closer to Liverpool than you are. So whenever
You
you're
know
ready,
what? Why must you
get your
hurt
ass
me
over
with
here.
things like that? That just hurts my feelings. Like, I don't think
I could go to
that
Liverpool
was called
tonight,
for.
Kathy. Like,
You know
where are you
what?
at?
That was uncalled for. No, you can't because you're not in the EU anymore, and you would need a visa. So, actually, I don't even know if that's true or not. But
I still have an
still,
American. No, I have an American passport. I could
you
still
know
go.
what?
Well, for the time being, I could still move with an American passport. Who knows?
Exactly.
Anyway, let's
No.
talk about these. Okay, so let's hit Iran or Iran, depending
Let's hit
on.
Iran. Why? Donald Trump already did. It's fine.
All right, we got some latent millennial rage. It's not even latent anymore. It's just full on millennial
Latent
rage.
is bubbling and brewing, and I am ready to explode.
Kathy Tea Kettle Cannon here is steaming at the mouth and ready to
Okay.
just explode. All right, Kathy. So Donald Trump Okay, let me ask you if this sounds familiar. Donald Trump has been pushing the idea that Iran is preparing weapons of mass destruction, and that we must prevent them from getting weapons of mass destruction. We must preemptively strike Iran, a country who has never attacked the United States or threatened to attack the United States. We must bomb them to take out their weapons of mass destruction. And then yesterday, actually, Donald Trump was discussing regime change, going into Iran to conduct regime change. Now, this is Donald Trump, who has based his entire political career going back to 2015 on criticizing both political parties, on getting us involved in foreign forever wars in the Middle East, protracted conflicts, Iraq, Afghanistan, Somalia, Pakistan, Yemen. And now, for some reason, Donald Trump is steering us on a course not only towards World War III, but towards yet again putting American bodies into a 20, 30-year war in the Middle East. So I don't know, Kathy, where have we seen this before? This is completely unfamiliar. I don't know. I don't know if we've ever, I don't know if we have the world experience as a nation to know what happens when you invade a nation in the Middle East to conduct regime change with no plan
I
to
know.
replace the regime.
It's remarkable how I went to sleep and woke up in 2003 somehow. Like, I knew they wanted to roll back the clock, but I didn't think 2003 was their end goal. But like, seriously, like, how is this fucking happening? Like, I like,
Well,
is Donald Rumsfeld in
1951
a
is
closet
their goal.
somewhere? Yeah, I know. Like, is Donald Rumsfeld sitting in a closet somewhere, like on the phone with Dick Cheney, like just not telling anybody that they're involved anymore? Like, this is like Karl Rove's playbook all fucking over again. It's like Donald Trump is in his George W. Bush era, and Benjamin Netanyahu is actually the president of the United States right now. Like, that's who's actually in charge. And he's having his George W. Bush moment as well. Like, I don't even have words. Like, I haven't even been able to make a lot of, I made a TikTok where I was basically like, I'm mad. Why am I mad? And like, that was it. Like, I can't even find the words to truly formulate how enraged I am. But like, I was 20 years old sitting in my stats class listening to Shock and Awe the other day. Like, that's what it felt like. Like, when I was like, I had to turn the news off. I couldn't keep watching it because I know the story. I can tell you exactly what the next play is going to be. I can tell you exactly what the propaganda is going to look like, because it's not going to be different. It's going to be the same thing, and up to and
It's
including
literally the
no
same
exit
thing.
strategy. Literally. No exit strategy, no end in sight. This is just like a blank check for another 20 years of giant military budgets to pay off Lockheed and Northrop and all of the other fucking military industrial organizations in the country. That is all this is. And all Benjamin Netanyahu had to do was tell Donald Trump that we'll give you Trump Tower Tehran and the Gaza Strip as a fucking Mediterranean resort, and fucking do what you want to do. I don't even care. Like, and like oil, like everyone who voted for Donald Trump because of no more wars, lower oil prices and lower grocery prices. How is that working? Tariffs are sending grocery prices up. They're about to close the strait, and 20% of the world's oil supply is going to get cut off, right? Because when you go to war with one of the world's,
25.
25%, like, so like now China is in this situation. They've already been giving weapons to Russia to fight Ukraine. They're already giving weapons to Iran to now fight Israel, who will also be fighting the United States. So now he started his fucking economic bullshit war with China, which is going to turn into a military war with us if we keep going. And that means China is going to have all of the distraction in the world available to just swoop up and take Taiwan. Like, that's happening. Like, and as soon as that
China gets most of its oil from Iran. Like, Russia is allied with Iran. You know, like China, they're both pretty unhappy about this. Russia Today talking about somebody from Russia Today talking about the fact that this move by Donald Trump could have serious nuclear holocaust kind of casualties. So now, and then Trump hit back. Okay, this is how crazy this is. Trump is not literally, hopefully, thank God, but Trump is like on Truth Social going to war with Russia. Like, that's how fucked up this is. And later we can talk about sort of the different factions in the Republican Party, the like pro-Russia faction.
Oh, the Republican Party is falling apart, just like, well, the Democratic Party is too, though. So,
but the Russian assets are freaking out, including Marjorie Taylor Greene. So we can talk about that in a little bit. But holy hell, this is absolutely insane, Cathy. They're hitting all the propaganda points here, and it's oh god, it's almost like we've been here. We had 4 years of peace, kind of under Joe Biden. By peace, I mean that U.S. troops weren't involved in a direct conflict anywhere. And I remember on this show we discussed the pullout from Afghanistan and how remarkable it was. That you and I, like, I was like 19, you were probably what, like 21 when we invaded Afghanistan. I'm now
Afghanistan was what, 2002, so I was 20.
Yeah, I was 19, and we didn't leave Afghanistan until I was 39 and you were 40. So like that's what we're gearing up for here.
I just sent you something in the private chat that I think that you should play. Don't ask questions, just upload it and play it. And you'll recognize it immediately, but it's appropriate for this moment.
Hold on, I gotta get the screen share going here.
Every millennial in the world will recognize this, and somehow we are here again.
Okay, so here's the Earth. Chilling. Damn, that is a sweet Earth, you might say. Round. All right. Ruling out the ice caps melting, meteors becoming crashed into us, the ozone layer leaving, and the sun exploding, we're definitely going to blow ourselves up. Okay. So basically, we've got China, France, India, Israel, Pakistan, Russia, the UK, and us with nukes. We've got about 2,600 more than anybody else. Whatever. Anyway, one day we decide those Chinese sons of a bitches are going down. So we launched a nuke at China. While it's on its way, China's like, shit, who the fuck is shooting us? Oh well, fire missiles. Then France is like, shit, guys, we got the missiles, they are coming, fire our shit. But then let's have a nap. Then fire the missiles. Meanwhile, Australia is down there like, WCF, mate. India, Israel, and Pakistan launched their shit, so now we've got missiles flying everywhere, passing each other. Russia's like, motherland! Then England's like, about that time, chat? Whatever. So now the US is like, fuck, we're dumbasses. Canada's like, what's going on, eh? Australia's still like, WTF. Mars is laughing at us, and some huge meteor's like, well, fuck that. So now we've got nuclear winter. Everyone's dead except Australia, and they're still like, WTF. But they'll be dead soon. Fucking kangaroos. But assuming we don't blow ourselves up, us Californians just have to worry about California breaking off from the United States to go hang with Hawaii. Alaska can come too. The end.
End is the world. I'm just gonna start walking around. I'm just gonna kind of like I did back in the day. I'm just gonna run around yelling "fucking kangaroos" because if you get it, you get it. Fucking kangaroos. I used to say that all the time.
That's right up there with old Greg. I don't know.
I know it's old school, but like Is it appropriate again somehow that our memes from 2004?
I don't know if California is joining Hawaii and Alaska. That might be a thing.
Well, that's just the joke of the fucking video, right? But fucking E-bombs world, end of the world. A 20-year-old joke is now our future. I hate it here so much.
Looking up for the jib jab. The slam.
Oh my god, remember jib jab? But anyway, so while Troy's looking for jib jab, I want to walk us through, if we might, just like the inevitable fuckery, because you already hear people talking about, oh, well, Donald Trump has to do this because Joe Biden fucked things up with Iran so bad, and that's what this is. Bullshit, no. Okay, would we like the timetable? Because Canada took notes.
What did Joe Biden ever even do with Iran? Like, Iran never even came. This is like a Barack Obama, like, yeah, give us your timeline.
Okay, so back in 2015, that is when the Iran nuclear deal was signed. It was actually called the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, and it was signed in Vienna on July 14th, 2015. And among the signing nations, remember, because it wasn't just the United States and Iran, it was a multilateral treaty, okay? It was the UN Security Council's 5 permanent members, which are China, France, Russia, United Kingdom, the United States, plus Germany, signed on with Iran for this nuclear deal. And they were following this deal, and UN inspectors had confirmed so, and everything was fine, right? But Donald Trump, hating Barack Obama the way he does, had been critical of the deal basically from the start. And when he runs for president in 2016, his America First bullshit, he comes out and repeatedly spends all of his time talking about how the Iran deal was a disaster. You remember this, right? It's a disaster. It's a disaster. That
was like half his campaign. He made Iran.
His campaign.
He made Iran the. It was like the focus of his foreign policy for that entire campaign.
It was. And he comes into office 2017, and he doesn't go straight for Iran, right? Because first he has to get like tax cuts for his rich friends. Like there's always priorities in Republican politics. It's tax cuts, then Middle Eastern wars. There's a fucking hierarchy of priorities. George W. Bush, remember, what did he do? Tax cut, then what did he do? Middle Eastern war. I wonder if there's a pattern here. What did Ronald Reagan do? Tax cut and Middle Eastern fucking proxy war. It's fine. I don't care. It's fine. I don't care. It's fine. It's fine. But anyway, so Donald Trump by May of 2018 has pulled us out of the deal, even though everybody's following the rules. All of the European nations, like the whole P5 is like, yo, bro, don't, like, this is fine. Like everything's good. Like we're chilling. Everybody be good. And Trump pulls out anyway, saying he doesn't believe the UN inspectors, which I'll ask you, does that sound familiar? UN security inspectors are saying, no, this country is following all of the parameters of the treaty that you did. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing even remotely true about what you're saying about them being a threat. Familiar? Yeah, WMDs? No, nothing.
He's even discounting his own intelligence community, saying that Tulsi Gabbard was wrong about Iran not having nukes. Like, yeah, so.
Which is what George W. and all them were doing. Well, like with Rumsfeld and Colin Powell were going to Congress. They were like, oh, well, the UN isn't familiar. We have intelligence that says that they're developing WMDs and anthrax. And the UN was like, no, they're not. And we were like, we think so. We think they are.
Remember when we convinced the entire world to go to war with us because we had evidence? Yep. Remember when the entire world like trusted us just enough to like commit their bodies to going to Iraq to fight with us? Yeah, that's not fucking happening again.
And that was the rant I did on TikTok the other day. Like, we have no moral authority here, right? Because when we went after Iraq, basically we set the stage for this preemptive like nonsense. So when Russia went after Ukraine, arguing preemptive action, what can we do when Israel goes after?
We set the standard for that. Like,
and that was the problem when everyone was like, well, Joe Biden could just tell Bibi to back off. How the fuck do you, as the American president, go and say, don't do the shit that we as America do? Like, whether you are aligned with Republicans or Democrats or whatever, as an American, you carry the consequence of American foreign policy in the world. You just do. So like, I might be a Democratic president, but I don't go to Iran as well. What the Republicans did doesn't matter. You own it. Like, Joe Biden can't, in good faith, go to any country and say, don't preemptively attack another country. You guys did it.
Or don't nuke another country. You guys did that too. I mean, it's,
it's insane.
He's hitting Iran preemptively on the basis that they're developing a nuclear program. But, according to the United States government in various forms, they've been developing a nuclear program since like 1995. I mean, where are the fucking nukes? Like, yes, I get it. They're enriching uranium. There's no proof whatsoever that they're developing a nuclear weapon. There, and there's no proof whatsoever that we actually took out their nuclear facilities in this attack, by the way, which is like the right-wing sphere trying to suggest that with your own version of mission accomplished, that we came in and just knocked out their nuclear facilities, and now we're ready for world peace once again.
Right? Because that's how it works. You're allowed to blow the ever-living shit out of somebody and then have them be like, oh, we'll be friends now. No, it destabilizes the country, which is what happened in 2018. We pull out of the deal and Iran, it literally immediately like falls into chaos, right? Because if somebody walks away from a deal that you were honoring, you would a little bit say, fuck you, and you'd start enriching uranium as well, right? So that is what they did. And that is
they were fully done with their nuclear program because they liked the deal they got. It was the deal that they had been waiting for decades. They finally got it. They stopped enriching uranium, and Trump basically on his first day ripped up the treaty, because this is what Trump does. Like Trump is the master at solving problems that he created or not solving them.
I was going to say, I don't remember him solving things.
His supporters just eat up that shit like he's the only one who can do it. I mean, yeah, if you break everything in your house repeatedly and then fix it, I mean, you might say that you're the only one who can fix your house, but I mean, that's just a...
well, yeah, after you've like jerry-rigged it so many times, you're the only one that knows how it works. But anyway,
go ahead.
We pull out of the Iran deal, and that is when, and this is why I think people are going to talk about how like whatever Donald Trump now is doing is just, cleaning up Biden's mess. And it's bullshit, but it's why they're going to say it is because Donald Trump, like after he pulls out of the deal, he institutes that his maximum pressure strategy, where he basically imposes a bunch of fucking sanctions on Iran after pulling out of the deal, cuts off their oil exports, sanctions their financial sector and their medical imports. And that medical imports one is going to become really important for a specific reason that nobody could foresee coming, I guess. So January 3rd of 2020, Donald Trump orders the assassination of General Soleimani, right? He's in Iraq and a drone strike takes him out. He kills him. Donald Trump comes up. He died like a dog. You know, like that really funny fucking video all over TikTok where it's like Obama or Osama bin Laden has been killed with Obama. And it's like all, like articulate and whatever. And then
they took custody of his body. He
died
like a dog.
We knock on the door, knock, knock, knock. Like, okay, so that was January 2020. Okay, who could have possibly foreseen what was coming from that?
What was happening in 2020 shortly after that?
Holy shit. Christ. But this almost triggered all-out war. Like, the entire world was like, Jesus fucking Christ. And it was like Iran were the ones with cool heads in that moment, if you remember. Like, they strike back, but they didn't kill anybody. And the reason that they were the ones with cool heads at the time is because COVID had hit that half of the world before it hit here. And Iran was one of the countries that was hit early and hard, like Italy, remember? But because Donald Trump had cut off exports, like medical exports to Iran, the pandemic raged really badly in Iran. So now he's killed their general and cut them off from necessary medical supplies in the middle of a pandemic. Gosh, I can't imagine why they don't want to make peace with us. So in Iran,
I remember sitting in my car. I was stuck in traffic commuting to work, listening on the radio because Trump was giving a speech about what he was going to do. And I just remember thinking like, okay, this is the end of the fucking world. And the fact that they were, the fact that nothing came out of that first time was incredible to me. I mean, that was,
it's because of this. It was like COVID was the ultimate de-escalator somehow. So like they struck back, like they hit missiles or bases or something, but they didn't kill anybody, right? So January 3rd, the assassination. January 8th, Iran hits back. The world is holding its breath, but by early February, Iran was like buried in COVID cases. Okay, buried in COVID cases. And it was raging through Europe, and cases started to show up in New York and I think California here. I think they showed up in California first, but then it like blew up in New York, as if I'm remembering it.
My daughter was born in January, and they were already putting signs up in the hospital about like check in if you have these XYZ symptoms because they were looking for COVID. But we didn't go and we didn't shut down in California until March.
Yeah, I think everybody shut down in March, but it's like where the cases started showing up, like where everyone where COVID started taking the headlines on the news.
The first big case in the U.S. was in Seattle, and then shortly after that, L.A. got hit really hard. Like of all the cities in the U.S., like L.A. got hit really hard by COVID. So yeah.
L.A. and New York City, I remember because Cuomo had been on the or what's his face, I can't remember, but yeah. So like basically, COVID kind of took over the news cycle late February, early March. So that kind of like oddly enough, the media can de-escalate foreign policy tensions because they're not talking about it. So Iran isn't as embarrassed about it, but they have COVID to deal with. Now everybody has COVID to deal with. So Donald Trump in re-election mode, like starts focusing on pandemic optics. Like that's all he cares about. He wants to look like a fucking hero. But by March, global lockdowns, Trump's White House consumed with pandemic denial, his little daily press conferences telling you to inject bleach into your lungs. It's fine. No big deal. Right? So we avoided a global war, but we got a global pandemic. So that's fun. So he loses his re-election. He tries to overthrow the government, showing America's political instability. I can't imagine how Iran would response to America's political decline. Yes, you can, because Joe Biden comes back into office and he's like, all right, can we get the deal back? Can we undo some of the fire? What would you say? No, Joe. Sorry. No. Fuck you, Joe. We're not going to do it. Protests.
They were so pissed. They were so pissed. So like they laid it all out on the line for Obama's deal. And when Trump tore that shit up, they were like, fine, fuck it. Never again.
Yeah, it was a risk for them to take that. Like, it was a big fucking deal for them to take that deal. And the fact that we walked away from it like nothing, whatever. So anyway, as happened in the entire world, so too in Iran, like the pandemic, the lockdowns, the economic uncertainty, the military tension, like protests erupt in Iran. And Iran does in fact have a totalitarian, like theocratic regime. Like nobody's pretending that the Iranian regime is anything but oppressive and terrible. Okay, like fully on board, bad guys. And it got especially bad when that girl was killed. The what was her name?
Masa Amini.
Masa
Amini. Yeah.
Masa Amini. I had it in my head ready to go, and then it jumped out of my head like 10 minutes ago.
That was horrifying, and we had there was a whole, almost an entire worldwide movement backing. That should have been the revolution against Iran right there, but they really, that kind of fizzled out. So,
well,
because it was a woman, because we hate women in the United States. So
well, yes, it was that too, but it was also Joe Biden trying to like calm tensions there so he could, because he was living in a world where America's not so stupid to elect Donald Trump. He could get reelected easy. And that's why I think he was like in the mindset he was. Like he assumed he was going to get a second term without trying, I think, which was sort of Hillary's mistake in 2016. She thought she'd get in without trying. And it really did bite us in the ass, but we're not going to talk about kitchen wallpaper when the house is on fire. We'll come back to Biden when the world is like slowed down a little bit. But basically, like by the time Trump comes back into office, he starts walking immediately back. Any efforts that Joe Biden put in to like restore diplomacy goes right after him again. Put JD Vance on the ticket, which like reignites neoconservative whatever, and the Heritage Foundation and all of their hacks get to show right back up. And the Middle East has been the Heritage Foundation is at a hard on for the Middle East from the gate because they want their fucking holy war and they're getting it right. So
shit is so bad over there. John Bolton is back on the this made John Bolton pro Trump. Trump took away.
If anything was gonna, there we go.
Trump took away John Bolton's Secret Service protection. They've been like mortal enemies for 5 years, and all of a sudden, John Bolton was on the Sunday talk shows, being like, "Yes, Trump, this is good. This is a good thing."
Yeah, he finally saw enough war to get on the Trump train.
Oh, for fuck's sake! But I call him Neil. I call him Neocon Don. I realized that was a nickname for Don Rumsfeld, but I think we could reappropriate it for Donald Trump because that pisses his supporters off so much. Because Donald Trump built his entire legacy on his entire campaign on being the anti-neocon Republican, on being the populist isolationist Republican that we haven't had in decades. You know what I mean? Like he was critical of George W. Bush. He was supposedly the anti-Bush Republican. And there are so many, it's causing a civil war in the Republican Party right now because there are so many Republicans that are so pissed that Trump did this. So we got to hit him with the neocon Don thing because that'll just make
I need to see the TikTok edits of like Donald Rumsfeld speaking, cut to Donald Trump speaking, to Rumsfeld speaking, to Trump speaking, like Don, like a tale of two Dons, if you will, right?
Well, like you said, Don Rumsfeld is hiding in a closet right now and probably beating off his Dick Cheney, thinking about the invasion of Iran.
Yeah, he's been dreaming of this since 1979, Mr. Rumsfeld.
But I gotta play this thing. This is another everybody from 2004 will appreciate this shit.
Good job.
You remember this?
I do.
This is John. Jib jab.
This land is your land. This land is my land. I'm a Texas tiger. You're a liberal wiener. I'm a great crusader. You're a Herman Munster. This land will surely vote for me.
This land is your land. This land is my land. I'm an intellectual. You're a stupid dumbass. I'm a Purple Heart winner. And yes, it's true, I won it thrice. This land will surely vote for me.
You have more waffles than a house of pancakes. You offer flip-flops. I offer tax breaks. You're a UN pussy. And yes, it's true that I kick ass. Ha! This land will surely vote for me.
You can't say nuclear. That really scares me. Sometimes a brain can come in quite handy, but it's not gonna help you because I won 3 Purple Hearts. This land will surely vote for me.
You're a liberal sissy.
You're a right-wing nut job.
You're a pinko commie.
You're dumb as a doorknob.
Hey, you got that Botox.
But I still won 3 Purple Hearts. This land will surely vote for me.
This land was my land.
But now it's our land. From California to the New York Island. What I do?
From the liberal wieners
to the right-wing nut jobs.
This land belongs.
This land belongs.
This land belongs to you and me.
Yeah. Oh, and Dick Cheney too.
Ooh. And Dick Cheney too. I got to admit, like in hindsight, George W. was funnier.
Not much has changed.
Not much has changed.
John Edwards there in the front row, like that's changed. He's gone.
Bro, like having been in North Carolina when that was all going on, the way we were all like holding our breath, like oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
You can't say nuclear. That really scares me. I remember that hit so hard in 2004.
Dude, like you know what? Like the worst fucking thing of my life is that I made fun of George W. Bush saying nuclear wrong so many times that like it stuck. Like, do you know how long I was saying
nuclear?
Do you know how long I was saying nuclear? Just because I made fun of him so much that it just made its way into my brain. Nuclear. I can say it, right? But it also like nuclear is so very like Scouse accenty that I had so much fun with it. Nuclear. It's the nuclear.
You little Scouse in your LFC jersey.
Yeah, so like every now and again, it still slips out where I nuclear. I was a poli-sci major in the early 2000s. I made fun of that man so much, and karma is my boyfriend, right? It came back to me. Now I say it wrong all the time because...
Kathy, do you remember... Okay, so the axis of evil, speaking of George W. Bush, the axis of evil was Iraq, Iran and North Korea. Do you remember if Congress, the Iraq War Powers Resolution, which we're still living under, in 2002, did that include Iran? I'm trying to find the congressional. I'm trying to find the any kind of congressional authority that Donald Trump has to attack Iran. I don't think it was. I don't think he has actually.
I think so.
But he has
I
72 hours to strike and then report to Congress, right?
That's just the regular old war. Yeah, that's the regular old War Powers Act. But no, Iran was not included. So the 2003 Iraq War Authorization, I just looked it up. Signed October 16th, 2002, authorized George W. Bush to use military force against Iraq only, specifically to disarm weapons of mass destruction, enforce UN Security Council resolutions, and end Saddam Hussein's regime if necessary. It did not mention Iran at all.
Okay, so they weren't even stupid enough to like list Iran in their War Powers Resolution. So
no, but Iran becomes targeted politically. So after the U.S. invaded Iraq, Iran was grouped into the axis of evil. As
they were supposed to be next. We were going to go from Iraq to Iran. Like that was the plan. If shit didn't go bad in Iraq, we were going to hit Iran. Like that was.
That's what it says here. There were rumors and a hawkish pressure from John Bolton to expand the war into Iran, but no congressional authorization was ever passed. So
John Bolton is the architect of Trump's Iran attack from like a decade ago, from 2015. John Bolton was talking about.
Well, he had a hard on it for it like in 2005, even I'd say 20 years. John Bolton has been beating off to this in the shower for 20 years. With his mustache curling right at the right moment. I want everybody to have that mental image. I'm so mean, aren't I? I'm amazing.
I'm trying to think of an Ayatollah pun here, but I can't come up with it.
Sorry, I threw you off.
So I don't know. We may do a deep dive on Iranian politics, but like Iran is not Afghanistan. Iran is Persia. Iran is a cultured, educated society that happens to live under a theocracy. There are varying political movements in Iran. Yes, Iran is terrible for women. I mean, the United States just used a dead woman as an incubator for a fetus. So
I was gonna say we're one to fucking talk on that one.
I don't know that we have the authority to come in and talk. We're the only nation on earth that's ever used a nuclear weapon, so I don't know that we have the moral authority to tell another nation they can't develop nuclear weapons. We're the only we just got out of a 20-year war where we preemptively invaded a nation that had not attacked or threatened us. So I don't know that we're in any kind of moral position to tell another nation that they can't preemptively strike. So I don't know, what Iran has done wrong. I mean, they're a terrible government, yes, but there's terrible governments all over the world.
There's a terrible government right here we could focus on. There's a terrible
government right here at home. I mean, there's a strong argument to be made that Trump is just doing this to distract from the ICE raids and the terrible economy and the tariffs. And just all the shit that he's going through.
Oh, I just got a headline. Iran has just hit a U.S. embassy in Qatar.
Is it Qatar? Yeah.
You saw that one too?
Yeah. No, but we were waiting for that. We talked about that earlier.
Yeah, I just saw.
Okay.
There it is. There it is.
Around Supreme National. Okay, so there's World War III. Right? Was anyone killed? Because that would be.
I don't know. I only just saw the headline pop up. You have more news access than I do, Mr. Official Guy. Oh, it was bases. It wasn't embassies. U.S. and UK tell citizens in Qatar to shelter in place. Yikes.
That was earlier. So this is the new. So we have word that Iran launched 6 missiles towards U.S. bases in Qatar. Multiple ballistic missiles launched. Ron Filipkowski was joking. The first thing this morning, Ron Filipkowski said on the Midas chat that was going to be a slow news day, which is code for all hell's going to break loose. That's like the 3rd time he said that. And every time he fucking says that, all hell breaks loose.
Does he actually think it'll be a slow news day, or does he say it knowing hell?
Does. He says it. He says it. I think the last time, I don't know. It was like, I don't know. Every fucking time he says that, all hell breaks loose.
Way to go, Rod.
In Bahrain and Kuwait, U.S. jets scrambling over Saudi Arabia. I'm just reading off the last hour or so of tweets.
Nice.
Qatar says no incident, no casualties from missile attacks. Qatar says reserves the right to respond to this. Okay, so Qatar's
Of
into
course.
this. U.S. fighter jets seen departing from Saudi Arabia. Here comes the retaliation to the retaliation. There are
Now you know
reports
what
of
that $400 plane was for.
There are reports of 3 direct hits on the U.S. base in Qatar. No initial reports of U.S. casualties. Pray these reports are confirmed true. That was Charlie Kirk. Some media outlets are reporting a few possible 3 ballistic missile impacts at or near U.S. Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. Nothing confirmed. Sirens are still sounding at all bases across Middle East, including Syria, Iraq, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, the UAE, and Oman. Breaking: the Iran Supreme National Security Council said in a statement that operation against U.S. forces in Qatar was successful, and that the number of missiles used equaled the number of bombs. Okay, so it's a tit for tat. Here they go again. Attacking empty facilities for retaliation on attacking empty facilities. I can't. Blah, 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 blah. So
it's the warm up for war. We're not there yet, but they're all flexing their muscles.
Everybody's, but this is what they did in 2020. Like, we took out their general. They bombed our air base, but they told us they were coming, and they basically just like took out our runway. They didn't kill anybody. So but this is, I mean, this, and this is just escalated completely. Completely unnecessary. Trump over the weekend calling for regime change. So he's
we're going to regime change. Can it be him or Bibi? They're the regimes that need to change.
I mean, he's contradicting himself. I mean, first he said that this was going to be limited to eliminating Iran's nuclear capabilities, and then over the weekend he's talking about regime change, which means all-out invasion of Iran. And by the way, Russia is Iran's biggest ally. Which is fascinating, considering the Marjorie Taylor Greens and the Thomas Masseys and the what the fuck, the people that have been Russia's biggest defenders,
I know,
are now like really critical of what Donald Trump is doing, because Russia, this was not part of the playbook, right? Like, this was not part of the talking points. We weren't supposed to be going after Russia, or we were supposed to be going after Iran.
And that's the problem, is that they don't actually understand world events or global politics beyond the list of printed talking points. Like, they know to say, oh, this, and this, but they don't understand the intersections of those things or the complex dynamics surrounding the talking points. Like, that's why I always think, like, I remember thinking Marjorie Taylor Greene, like, how do you, with a straight face, come out and defend Russia and condemn Iran when they're on the same team? That would be like me saying, I love Mo Salah, but I hate Virgil van Dijk. And I would never say those things, because I love both of those men with all of my heart. They play for Liverpool, if you didn't know. Just saying.
Tulsi Gabbard, who could not be more of a Russian agent if she tried, has been advising against this. Marjorie Taylor Greene showing her true colors, like coming out against even her cult daddy to defend Iran, because she's a Russian agent. Thomas Massey's clearly in bed with Russia. He's been the most anti-Trump person so far. The response that I love the most was Carrie Lake, who's desperately trying to climb back out. Like, the shovels are banging with Carrie Lake trying to climb her way out of the grave, saying, I love this president, in response to his post about Iran. But even Marjorie Taylor Greene, Carrie Lake's once and future competition for sexy time with Donald Trump, is opposing this. So, I mean, you have all the Russian operatives. So you have a split. You have the pro-Russia Republicans condemning this because at their very core, they're anti-Semitic, like Marjorie Taylor Greene at her core is anti-Semitic. And then you have the, pro-Israel, like biblical dominionist Republicans who are like, want Israel to be successful so that Christ can come back and destroy them
and kill everybody. They have a weird, fucked up understanding of their own fucking religion. They honestly think Jesus is going to come back to condemn everybody. Like, did they know Jesus? Like, that was not his bag. Like, that was so not his move. But that's fine. I just work here.
All right, Cathy. So what happens next? I mean, so we got Iran's retaliation. Is that it? I mean, they've given Trump an off ramp. Iran keeps doing this. They keep giving Israel Trump off ramps to be like, okay, all's good. or is Trump like a fucking madman? I like reading his Truth Social the other night. Where he was talking about stay tuned. He was telling the world, stay tuned for U.S. action on Iran. I mean, this dude is a fucking psychopath. So I don't know. Does he let this go, or does he consider regime change to be his defining moment? And then are we in World War III? Because I got to be honest, this response from Iran seems like a off ramp for Trump and the Israelis to say all is good and just kind of walk away.
I genuinely do not know. What I would pay attention to in the next few days is where the German chancellor goes, like who he's talking to, where Macron goes, who he's talking to, and what China does. Because China
gets
is
most of their oil from Iran, yeah.
And who's been giving them weapons, but I don't know. Like, this is why I think it's so stupid. Donald Trump started his stupid little trade war with China, because if we had still a good economic partnership with China, they'd be way less inclined to support the military of Iran in fighting us because they don't want to alienate us economically. But we already alienated them economically. So what do they have to lose now? I hate it here so much. I don't know. Troy, I wish
meanwhile,
I knew.
Iran's first response was to the Iranian parliament voted to close the Strait of Hormuz, which effectively closes the Persian Gulf,
which is a big deal for your summer travel plans.
So during the summer driving season, that's a dramatic spike in gas prices right there. So, yeah. Talking about inflation. Donald Trump was going to bring down inflation and prevent World War III, and then this is
instead he caused inflation to come back roaring and cause World War III. Woohoo! Who could have seen that coming? Except everyone who warned you it would happen.
Cathy, we're almost out of time, but I don't know. I don't think the world. I don't think the United States. I don't think the United States. The people of the United States. We don't have it in us for another 20-year war. In the Middle East, if this gets out of hand, I don't see this. I see national divorce. I see an end to NATO. I don't know. I just don't. We do not have the stomach. Like the stupidity of the right wing is that the United States is some sort of tough guy. Like we haven't.
I think everyone just does what we say, and we
haven't won a real war in 80 years. And
we haven't ever won a real war, because even World War II we couldn't have done without anyone else.
We're not ready for a global conflict. Look at that fucking military parade.
On that point, right? Can I say something controversial? I want to say something controversial.
No, absolutely. We cannot hurt anybody's feelings, Cathy. Come on. That's ridiculous.
Here's the thing. Like, the U.S. military, I know it's supposed to be our pride and joy, and I know we spend like $1 trillion a year on it, so it should be our pride and joy. But we also know that the Department of Defense has never been audited, and that giant military budget, nobody knows where the fuck it goes. And I think that the military parade was supposed to be like him flexing the muscles, but I think what it did was show just how weak the American military is, as if our track record doesn't show it, right? Like, we won World War II. No, we didn't. We helped the Allies win World War II. We couldn't have done it alone, okay? And the only way we won anything on our own was by dropping a literal nuke on Japan, okay? And we needed German scientists to do that. We can't do anything on our own. Since then, what have we done? We started a war in Korea where we fought for 5 years to end up right back where we started. We fought a war in Vietnam for 20 years to end up right back where we started. We fought proxy wars in Afghanistan, Iraq, all over the place to end up exactly where we started. We have 80 years of military skirmishes and adventures that show absolutely no successful, except for the first Persian Gulf War, which arguably was pretty effective, but because it only lasted 15 days or something like that. And then Bill Clinton's 48-hour romp in Somalia or whatever. But other than that, our military is a fucking mess. All it is really expensive guns and planes and paychecks to military contractors, but we don't have a good and effective military. And I think that's very fucking clear to the whole world right now. And it is a very bad time for us to start thinking that our military prowess will keep the world from attacking us, because we just showed them we can't even march in formation.
Somalia was a failure. We lost 19, or I think it was 19. We lost 19 troops in Somalia and quit.
Yeah.
We split. We left.
Which was the one that, maybe it was Grenada then? Which one was the one where he was like in and out in 2 days and he was like all successful to distract everyone from Monaco? Yeah,
it was Panama. Grenada. It might have been Panama.
Was one of them. But basically, it was one of those, like, we're really, really good at going in and out really fast. Like, we got a Bin Laden. Why? Because we popped in, we killed him, we popped right out. Like, we're really good at that stuff. We are not good at long, protracted wars, and we've proven that repeatedly.
Well, we're not good at fighting people who are not afraid of us. And, right now, these people.
And who's afraid of us right now? Nobody's fucking afraid of us right now. The whole fucking world is laughing at us right now, and they should be. We deserve to be laughed at right now.
We are basically Soviet Union circa 1986, Chernobyl. Like, nobody takes us seriously anymore.
Nobody takes us seriously.
The fucking EU is moving off the dollar. Like, no one cares. Like,
I know. That's going to be so bad.
This is not a serious time for American leadership overseas. So here we go. I mean, Iran just gave Trump an off ramp. They didn't kill anybody. They bombed into a couple empty buildings, and we'll see. We'll see what.
I think they're going to be planning his. Like, that's what I think. I think they're going to make it look like they're. Like, I think they're going to. What would you do if you were them? I would off him.
Well, when Trump was a private citizen, the reports that we were getting from insiders was that Iran was out for blood because they wanted revenge for him killing Qasem Soleimani.
Yeah.
Yeah, as president or not, they were going to kill Donald Trump. But it was a lot easier when he was a private citizen. Now that he's president, I mean, But the thing is that they may wait. I mean, Iran could wait 20 years and still exact that revenge. But again, the problem is that we're all tied up in that because he's no longer a private citizen. He's the elected leader of the United States. So
yeah.
The problem now is the sleeper cells potentially in the U.S. I don't know if you have any thoughts about that, Cathy, but
I think I'm going to go rewatch The Americans. Though, did you ever watch that show?
I didn't. I know the story behind it though, but
you should watch the show. It's relevant for the era somehow.
So was the movie with Denzel Washington and Bruce Willis. I can't remember what it was, but about sleepers in the. But I don't know. I don't know how serious that is. But we're now once again in a world where terrorism could be a very real reality. And what's the scariest thing about terrorism is not necessarily the terrorism itself, but the government's response to terrorism. Once again, harkening back to our childhood, Cathy, and the Patriot Act and all that.
I know. I was talking to my friend today and I said something and I was like, so just so you know, NSA guy, I'm joking, because we're back to that. We're back to talking to the NSA guy on the phone because the early 2000s are back.
It doesn't even have to be real. They could just blow, anybody could just blow something up and they could call it Iran terrorism and then lump all of the anti-ICE. This is what they do. Like then all of a sudden all of the anti-ICE protests are pro-Iran. And all those people are traitors, and we got to lock all them up and deport them to Guantanamo. This is the playbook. They've been. This is what we went through in the early 2000s. Like if you speak out against it, all of a sudden you're in favor of terrorism, and they can just come after you. Only now they have an apparatus to do it. It was only theoretical in 2003. Now it's like very fucking real. What these people
and it's doing. Donald Trump and not George W. Bush. Like say what you will about George W. Bush, he's an idiot, and we didn't like him, but there was at least some sort of a soul in there, right?
He's a painter. He paints pictures of his dogs.
I still disagree with him wholeheartedly on just about everything in the world, but he's not the lunatic that Donald Trump is. And it's terrible. Like imagine George W. Bush powers in the hands of Donald Trump, because that's what we're looking at.
It's fucked up.
Oh, yeah, that's a word for it.
Just about out of time. Cathy, thank you so much for a great conversation. Good to see you. And we're subscribed to YouTube, you guys, because we are adorable as hell in our football kits here, our soccer kits.
And that's where we'll make more money, man. And if you start watching our YouTube, I'm going to be more inclined to be prettier on here. Like, imagine if I start dolling myself up. Like, I clean up nice.
Kathy, you look good. Subscribe to Patreon.
I'm not dying.
Subscribe to Patreon. Kathy's on summer break. She's lost like 175 pounds. No, I don't know. But you look great. You look really good without the stress.
My stress jowls are gone. I didn't believe the doctor when they told me it was stress. They're like, no, that's like they called it cortisol face.
Yeah,
I was so stressed out that my whole face was puffy. I woke up a couple days ago. I was like, I have a jawline again. Look at that.
Kathy looks good. Subscribe to you or check us out on YouTube so you can see Kathy's pretty face. I just look old. Subscribe to Patreon, patreon.com/justbuy. Less coffee. Check out the pre-show content, extra bonus content, $5 a month. Subscribe, be a Patreon subscriber. Check out all that stuff. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Kathy. A little bit of a break. Now we're back. Let's all hold it together. Holy shit. Here we go again. It's 2003 all over again.
Here we go again.
Somebody blow a conch because all the millennials got to assemble here because we're all
What's that? What's that one Chemical Romance song? Like the parade. What is it called? Oh shit! Yeah. You know what the song I'm talking about? Like every millennial in the world knows this song.
It's called the parade, isn't it? Isn't it called the parade?
Black Parade. That's what it's called. Black Parade. Yeah. I just know the tone.
When I was a young man.
Yeah.
My father
took me into the city to see a
marching band.
He said, son, when you grow up.
There we go, millennials.
I'm done. I'm going to go.
Thanks, everybody, for a great conversation. And we will see everybody next time. Maybe, if we're not dead.
Yeah,
bye.
We'll stay. Okay.
Coffee, answering the deeper questions of American politics, featuring Troy Matthews at Keep Troy Blue and Cathy Cannon at Cannon's Fodder. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Threads, X, and Blue Sky. All opinions are our own.